Thank you for being here and welcome to our Coffee Talk Show.
Yes, today we have a very relevant topic in our life, but we are sure it's going to be relevant for you too, because we all stress sometimes. Have you noticed around you people stressing? Are you stressed right now as well? It is very, very common. It is out there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you have your coffee with you and your notebook, and let's begin.
Yeah. So what we wanted to talk to you about today, besides stress, if you've listened to anything that we say on Instagram lives or different podcasts that we talk a lot about managing stress and minimizing stress. But actually, how could you know how to manage? How could you know what to do to minimize it if you don't know the root, the really deep down reason for why you're currently stressed? Think about it for a minute. How can you figure out anything if you don't know what it is?
What it really is.
What is the ground for it?
Yeah, and stress is a feeling. You're feeling stressed, and sometimes it's really hard to put your finger on what is it exactly that makes you feel this way. But and let me know if you can relate to this. Sometimes you feel irritated all the time, more emotional, you sleep not that good. You're not eating like you used to. You're getting angry easily. All those things make you feel know that you're stressed. And we talked about it in another episode about the symptoms of stress. But sometimes it looks all over the place. Yeah. I am stressed. Stress is all over me. I am all stress. And sometimes it does feel this way, and it makes us behave in a way that is, let's be honest, not the best.
Yeah.
And not that kind to our surrounding as well. When we feel this way, we are a less good person, okay? And we are not ourselves.
Yeah.
So what we want to do here today is to get to the root of the thing. What is it that really stresses you out? And when you find this in the whole mess, then it's easier to handle it and to actually manage it or minimize it or to make you feel better. That's all we want.
Yeah. So basically, before maybe we start, I want to tell you something, general knowledge, let's say, about feelings in general, okay? We tend not to feel the real feeling that is behind whatever it is, okay? We tend to convert feelings because this is what we got used to, because we don't know how to express the real feeling, because we don't own it, okay? So you'll see, and I'm sure you've experienced it as well, because it's very, very common. But think again, be honest with yourself and think about it for a moment. And if you are with your notebook, then note it down. How many times where you may be feeling stressed, but it was conveyed as anger, or maybe being more clumsy, or feeling more irritated, jealous? And it can be the other ways around, okay? Maybe you were angry and it looked like you were sad. Maybe you were jealous or anxious and it looked like you were, frustrated with things. We tend to mix those emotions because we are not super honest with ourselves on what is the root behind them. Okay, so it's true for all the emotions. It's true also for positive emotions. Okay, we tend to. How many times, when you are embarrassed, you giggle funnily, and you're like, and you make a sound as if you're super happy, but actually the feeling that you're currently experiencing is embarrassment. Okay, we tend to do those kind of things because we're not super honest with ourselves on what is it that we're feeling. So that's true about all kind of emotions, okay? So when we're feeling here about stress is also, it's not an emotion, it's a feeling, okay? There is a difference between them, but it's something that we tend to project in different ways because we're not super honest on the fact that currently what we are feeling is stress, and the reason why we're feeling stress is X. And here today we want to talk to you about this X. What is this ground? What is this root for whatever you're feeling right now? Because that's the key to solving and to feeling better and to managing it better and to minimizing it and to doing everything that you need to do after it. But the first thing you need to know is what is it based on?
Yeah, okay? Absolutely. And regarding a move abroad, and that's what we do and that's what we talk, moving abroad can sound very stressful. I'm stressed because I am moving abroad. I am stressed because I just moved abroad. What's up with the voice today? And it's true, it is stressful, but what is it in your move abroad that really stresses you out? And it's different for every one of us, okay? For one, it can be, the fact that you're leaving behind friends and family and you're stressed about feeling lonely. For others, it will be that you have to get rid of your stuff, get rid of memories that you have, and you're going into the unknown. And for others, it can be many things. So it's not really the move abroad or the life abroad, but more specific things. And when you tackle it in this way, you can handle it more easily, because handling a stress of a move abroad is very big, it's broad, okay? And it's too hard, it's too much, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you get to burnout and feeling so anxious that you can't even see how you deal with it. And that's not what we want for you, okay?
Yeah.
This is not what we want for ourselves. So it's very important that you understand what is it that really stresses you out so you can deal with it better. That's as simple as that.
Think about it as just the same way as you would approach a crazy meal that you are about to prepare. You're inviting a lot of people in, and you have this, you need to prepare 5 courses meal, and you have so many ingredients and so many things to do right now. If you have it like that, it might look terrifying, impossible, you've never done it before, how would you do that, right? But if you start breaking it down into what are the ingredients of the meals that you're going to prepare? Do you have a recipe? Do you know what people love? What do you know how to? Do you have a pot and a pot and like a pot and a pan? I was like, completely mixing it. Do you have like spices? Like when you break it down, you will actually find that it's not that crazy after all if you know what it is made of. Okay, so if I'll tell you right now to bake a cake that you've never done before and you're really not a good baker, you will start to be like, nah, I can't do that. But if I'll give you all the right ingredients and the exact recipe, you will be able to bake this cake. Maybe not the best cake you've ever done. Maybe you'll make some mistakes along the way. That's fine. But eventually you'll have it. So moving abroad is exactly the same thing. It might look very big right now and very overwhelming, and there's so much to do, and that causes stress because it is big and unknown. But when you break it down to the small ingredients, you're like, okay, but actually this I know how to do, and this I've done before, and this like it doesn't sound too crazy when it's like this small step, and etc. And then you can look at it. But again, it is caused back to, but what is the thing that causes you stress? Is it because it looks big? Or as Maya just said, is it because you don't know? Or is it because you do know? Or is it because you're afraid, or like what is it behind it?
Yeah. And there's another important thing. A lot of times, and we see it regarding a move abroad, but it's true for every other aspect in your life. We live in a society, we live in a surrounding of people, and we tend to take other people's stress as well. Especially when we feel down and we feel stressed, we see other people stressing. Ooh, I want this stress as well, so I'm taking this one too. And ooh, she's stressed because of packing. I'm not stressed because of packing. I'll take her stress as well because I need to feel stressed about packing. And if I'm not stressed about it, then something is wrong with me. And I'll take the stress of leaving a family behind, even though I don't like my family that I'm leaving behind. And I see it all the time. We talk to women that are moving abroad all the time, and we see this. And when we talk to them and we ask them, what is really stressing you out? And they begin to clean all the mess. And there are things that are not really theirs. These are the things that you read on Facebook posts and on blogs and you listen to on podcasts. And our advice here is take only what's yours. You don't have to take it all. That's totally fine. If you're not stressed about that and thing, great for you, happy for you. If you're so relaxed about your move abroad, so happy for you.
Yeah.
Let us know. We want you to meet you. But be careful when you're taking other people's stress and it sticks to you, okay?
Yeah. And it can be other people's stress that you see on Facebook posts, for example. You will see other people talking about the importance of having a career and a work visa and sorting out the school for your kids and all those kind of things, and people stressing about that, and then you'll say, ooh, but I wasn't stressed about it until now, so maybe I should, because maybe I'm not doing something right, okay? This is external people that are impacting your day-to-day, but you also have the close people. Maybe you're moving with your kids, maybe you're moving with your partner, maybe you're moving and you have your mom that is staying, or you're actually going to meet her. Whatever is the closer people around you, they will also project their own stress on you. And it's up to you to decide, is it something I want to be stressful about? Maybe yes, maybe they have a point, and maybe not. So maybe let's give you how can you know what is yours? Because as you can understand right now, stress is something that is out there, and some of it is yours, some of it is not, but it's up to you to really figure it out and make and declutter this space of stressful situation, so you really know the root of what stresses you out, because that's the key to start dealing with it. Okay?
Yeah.
So how can you know?
So I think you said it before. The first thing would be to break it down. What is it that you're dealing with right now that might cause stress? Just look around you. What is it? If you're moving abroad, then is it the packing? Is it the uncertainty? Is it all the paperwork that you need to do? Is it your job? What is it? Break it down to areas, different areas in your life, and see what it really is.
Okay.
So I think that's the first thing, to
Yeah.
break it down to different areas.
Yeah.
And then ask yourself again,
what is the common thing about all those ingredients that actually stresses you out inside? And I want to share with you, okay, so we all have basic needs. There are different research, different theories about it. I want to share with you one. We all have basic needs of what actually drives us, what makes us feel that we can keep on going, okay? But actually when we're lacking those kind of things, then we start to feel anxious and stressed and not very good with ourselves, okay? So as we said, if you have your notebook, this is a moment to write it down, okay? So we have 6 basic needs. The first need is our needing, we'll call it confidence, okay? Knowing what's going on. Okay, so if you're this type of person, like me these days, then you need to know whatever. You need to know what to do now. You need to know what's going to happen. You need to know how things are going to be. You need to know. This is what drives you. And whenever you know things, things work well. Whenever you don't know, then you start to be less yourself.
Yeah,
okay?
and how does it look when you're this type of person? For example, obsessive Googlers, you know them? We look online for how does the school will look like when I move abroad? How is the, I don't know, we check online to know, to get answers all the time, obsessively. Not you, those kind of
people.
And again, it's not a bad thing. We're not saying it's a bad, it's a need. You need to know, like to get reassurance that this will calm you down if you'll know.
Yeah.
Okay? So for those people, when there is uncertainty,
it's hard.
It's really hard and it causes stress.
Yeah. So that was the first need.
Yeah.
The second need is actually the opposite way. Okay? Is the need to not know. Don't tell me everything. I will find out. I will find out and I will be okay. I prefer discovering as I go rather than knowing all of it. Knowing causes me stress. Too much information, overload of information will freak me out. Don't tell me. Okay? And those people, you'll find if you are one of those people, you'll see it in a lot of things in your life. It's true in your love life, and in your career, and in your move abroad, and in your way you're parenting. You have those people who are spending their days inside books. Okay? And you have parents who are going with the flow and just figuring out as they go. And both ways are completely fine. But you need to know what is your need. Which part of it is really yours and what drives you. Because guess what? As we said, if you are part of those people that are driving through this second need of not knowing, when you know too much, it will cause you stress.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe you've felt this sometimes, you know, when you see a list, for example, you post something on Facebook and people reply with, oh, if you want to move abroad, you need and you're, okay, I'm going to close my computer because I can't handle this amount of information, okay? This stresses me out. This is me, okay? When I am for parenting, the same. When people come and give me, you know, this advice, and oh, you should read this, and oh, I've seen an article, you shouldn't do this, and oh, and I'm like, shut up, I don't want to hear it, okay? I know for myself, if I want to know more, I look it up. Don't throw information at me, okay? So that was the second need.
Yeah. The third need would be a need to be meaningful. Okay, looking for meaning inside of all this craziness. So if this is something that drives you again, everything we share right now is true for your move abroad, it's true for life abroad, but it's true for your day-to-day activities, everything that you do and touch. Okay, it's true for your work, it's true for your love life, it's true for your family life, it's true for your health. So when you have this need to feel and be meaningful, how can it look like?
So, for example, we see a lot of women that when they move abroad, they feel less meaningful because they left an amazing career behind, a great job behind, and right now they are just soccer moms, you know, those moms driving around the kids to school, coming back, doing grocery shopping, and they've lost their meaning for themselves in this life, and it can look a lot like stress and anxiety, and when you feel like you're nothing in this world, and it feels awful. It is. And if you're feeling this way, and then you know what we're talking about. And it happens a lot after moving abroad. And it can cause stress even before, because you say to yourself, okay, I'm leaving this great life behind for, I don't know, your husband's job or another opportunity that you have or an adventure that you want. So who am I now? What is my meaning in this life of mine?
Yeah.
And it's very confusing.
It is, and I want to share with you again, because it's easy sometimes to see it from other life perspective, and I bet you remember this, but when you were pregnant with your first girl, you said to me that, like, you don't want to become just a mom, like that it was super important to you to keep this understanding that before everything else, you are Mayan, then you are many other things, but the first thing is that you are you. Okay, so when we talk about meaning, when we talk about all those needs, you can see them in every aspect of your life. I won't emphasize it enough. So look at it. Look, what is it that is really creating confidence in you, creating feeling of like, I'm good, and what, when it is lacking, you feel stress. Okay?
Yeah, and you know, if you go deep inside this need for being meaningful, then you can go deep inside yourself and see what makes you yourself and meaningful. Is it really your job or your career, or maybe it's something else? Maybe it's your values, maybe it's the things you believe in, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your thoughts. I don't know. You know what makes you you, and I bet you can make yourself you wherever you choose to live. Okay. But that's maybe another topic.
Yeah.
But it can be really, really stressful to lose the sense of meaning in this life. So the third one is a big one.
A big one. The fourth one is a need for love and connections. Okay? It's a very natural need. We were all born to be loved and belong somewhere. Okay? But some of us need to be fulfilled even more. This is what drives them. They need to feel the love. They need to feel they are connected. They have a relationship. They are part of something. And when it is fulfilled, when they feel this way, they feel great. But when they don't, then it will look as they disappoint themselves and others. And they will feel stressed about it. They will feel low about it. They will feel like nobody loves me. You know, you've heard those people before, I'm sure.
Yeah, those are the people that will look more for communities. For example, I bet you've seen them on Facebook and online as well. You know, those people that even before they move abroad, they'll post like, "Hey, are there here ladies from Toronto? I'm coming. I need my community. Okay, I don't want to feel alone." Okay, so again, this can be really, really stressful before you move abroad if you're used to having your people around you, you know, your girls, and you're used to be surrounded by a lot of people because you need it. Okay, and again, that's not a negative thing. It's really a need, and you need your surrounding. You need to feel loved by other people, and you might be scared that you lose all of those when you're moving abroad, and then you'll feel lonely. You'll be all by yourself. Nobody's gonna be there for you, and you need this. So it can be really, really stressful. And if you are one of those, then it is really important to learn how to create connections and new relations, and to keep those relations that you have from back home as well, because it will be really, really helpful for you. And we'll talk in a minute about communicating it, but with this one, it's really, really important you communicate it with your surrounding, because this is what you need.
Yeah, exactly. You said very well. I was thinking if I need to add anything. No, nothing. We can move on.
Yeah.
To the fifth need is our need to grow and to learn. Okay, it's a growth need. We have a lot of us. Okay, needs to improve and to discover and to learn new things and to develop. And when we feel like, I don't know if it ever happened to you, but I know it happened to me so many times before. When you feel like, wow, I don't think I've learned anything in like so long. My brain goes on like, and like it's shut down. It's working on this autopilot, and then I feel like, something's missing. Like I don't know. It's this like I don't know to explain this feeling. But when I go deep down to the root of it, it's like this basic need of needing to learn and to grow and to evolve isn't fulfilled. So I feel less myself. Okay? So you'll see it. You have those people who can do exactly the same thing for 40 years and they feel fine. And then you have people, if they don't like super quick all the time, learn new things, read more books, watch more documentaries, listen to other podcasts, they need this like constant brain stamina, like, and get continue that. So that's the fifth need.
Yeah, absolutely. And regarding a move abroad, moving abroad sometimes is based on this need, this need of going to the unknown, of discovering new things, having new opportunities, learning a new language, learning a new culture, talking to new people. It feels this need of wanting to evolve and to grow. I know that for us, a lot of times this is like a basic need that we have, and if we don't fulfill that, we feel bored a lot of times.
Yeah.
So when life gets boring and just too comfortable, too simple, and you feel this urge to move and to do something else, to do something for yourself, like for your own growth, then this is what these needs look like.
But as you just said, so when it's not fulfilled, it can look like you're bored. But as I said in the beginning of this podcast today, because we tend to mix emotions, so boredom can quickly become something else and can cause you like, what am I doing? I can't do anything, nothing is interesting, and it overwhelms, it causes stress, so it can create the exact same effect. Go back to the root, okay? That's super important. And the last need that we want to talk to you about today is the need to give more, to volunteer, to give to community, okay? And again, so many people, this is what drives them forward. They need to feel like they're giving back. They need to feel like they're impacting others. They need to feel like they're doing something good, okay? And if they don't do that, and they are not fulfilled and they don't feel like themselves.
Yeah, and again, if you are before you move abroad and you're used to volunteer in your community and give to others, and suddenly you're afraid that you won't be able to do that in your new place, it can cause stress, and it can feel unfulfilled.
Yeah.
But usually I think those people, they find really quickly something new to give to. And we have a great example for this. Our cousin, she just moved abroad, and she's like she's doing a lot for the community and for the environment. And a couple of months after her move abroad, she found this job that will fulfill this need of hers, and she is now doing even a bigger work than before. She can impact more, give more to the environment, to the society, like she did before, but even bigger. So I think this urge is a really strong one, and if you're one of those, then even if you're feeling stressed right now about you won't be able to give to others in the future in your new home, then I'm not worried about you. I know you're going to find a way to do it because it's a very, very strong need.
Yeah. So just to sum it up before we continue to other things. So just to go back, we have 6 basic needs. All of us have all the 6 basic needs, okay? So we had the need of knowing and confidence, okay, creating security. We have the second one was the need of not knowing and going more with the flow. The third one was need of meaning, okay, feeling meaningful. Fourth one was the need of love and connections. The fifth one was need of grow and learning, okay, growth. And the last one was a need of giving to community and volunteering, okay? But what I want you to pay attention to is, as I said, we all have the 6 basic needs, but at any given moment and different times of our life, we usually have 2 needs that are the strongest for us right now, okay? So those are the things that we need to fulfill first of all. We might also have the third and the fourth and the fifth and the sixth, okay? We want them, but they are less important for us. If the first 2 in our order, and it's not in a certain order, okay? For every single one of us, it will be different. But if our own first 2 needs are not fulfilled, that's when we start to lose ourselves, to feel like we're stressed, to feel angry, to feel anxious, to feel overwhelmed. Okay? So I'm really inviting you to look at those 6 needs and think for yourself, what are your top 2 needs in general where you're feeling the most fulfilled? And now we can move to talk to, so when you're currently stressed, or if there's something stressful right now in your life, how can you find out which need is it not fulfilling? And that's usually the cause of your stress.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, we've said it so many times before, the key here is honesty, and it's honesty between you and yourself. That's it. Ask yourself again and again, what is it really about? This thing is stressing me, but what is it really about? Am I really, really stressed about this paperwork? Or what is it behind it that really stresses me? How is it connected to one of those 6 needs?
Yeah. And the easiest way to do it is, so whenever you feel like we said, there is a lot of symptoms for stress, okay? You are not sleeping well at night, you're more irritated, you have body pain, you are talking not your way to other people, you're
less nicer,
you're more emotional. All those things are manifestation of stress, okay? How does it look on you? But if you find yourself like packing, for example, and not understanding why is it, take a moment, step back and ask yourself, like, what needs do I need to fulfill, and are they fulfilled? Okay, that's the answer is 99% of the time somewhere in one of those 6 basic needs. You need to fulfill those. Once you will fulfill your primary need, everything else will go smoother.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, only the fact of you knowing what stresses you out, what is the root of the thing, will automatically minimize the stress.
Yeah.
Because when you know, even if knowing is not your top need, knowing really helps you deal with it. And when you're packing, and if you understand that what really stresses you out now that you're packing is that you won't feel meaningful in a new place, and you say, well, that doesn't have to do with, there's nothing here about packing, so I can pack, finish with this task and move on, because this is not really what is stressing me. What is stressing me is this one thing, one need that has to be fulfilled, and I want fulfilled with packing, so I'm gonna get over with this, move on to something else, and this way you can deal better with the situation.
Yeah. So, and you can solve it by fulfilling your need somewhere else. Okay, so you're moving abroad. It is one thing that you're currently doing in your life, but you are, the same way that we say, like, you are not, everything is not stressed, and you are not, your whole being is not only that. Well, your whole being is not moving abroad. This is one part. It's a big chunk of your life right now, okay? And maybe you are living abroad already, and it's a big chunk of your life. But you have other aspects. So if moving abroad stresses you out, because I'll keep on your example of how will you feel meaningful once you move. Once you move, it's in a couple of months. How can you feel meaningful right now, in parallel to you taking care of your move abroad? Maybe it's something with your work life, maybe it's something with your love life, maybe it's something with your personal life, maybe you're writing about your experience and you're impacting other people's life. There's so many ways that you can fulfill your basic need that are going to work in parallel. And then when this need is fulfilled, think of it as like you feel better, you are more yourself, then everything else, well, you can deal with that, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, another thing that we see and hear a lot of time is women telling us, well, I need to know, then I'm Googling obsessively and I still don't know. And sometimes, well, you won't know everything. It's like natural. You're moving to a new place, you can't know everything. But our suggestion to you, as always, is what do you know right now? What do you know? Like, what is it in your life right now that you do know? Like, you do know when are you moving? When are the moving people coming to take your boxes away? Maybe you do know when is your flight, what's the date of your flight. Maybe you know already what city are you going to live in. Maybe you know already, I don't know, what jobs are you going to have. Maybe you know already that you have to say goodbye to this friend and this friend and this friend. Maybe you do know that you have to get rid of your sofa and you have to get a new one. You know this. You don't know what new sofa you're going to have, because you can't know, because you don't know the measurements, you don't know what colors you need, you don't know what are the shops they have in, I don't know, Finland. Sweden, it would be IKEA, so easy. But no, Finland, I don't know. You can't know, but you do know that you have to get a new one. So try and look and reassure yourself, fill this need that you have in knowing with little pieces, even if it's not everything, because you can't.
Yeah. I'll share with you something very personal. So, like, if you understood it by now, it wasn't that hard. One of my basic needs, okay, my top 2 basic needs is the first one, need of knowing, a need of reassurance and confidence. Okay, I need to know. That way I deal better. But one of the things I really remember before my move, my last one, was during, like, really, it's kind of the beginning, I don't know where, of COVID. Like, it's before we really understood what's going on, okay? And one thing I understood back then is that what you just talked about, I don't know. And there's nothing I can do with it, because no one knows. Like, it's not that I can look for the answers. No one knows. So it's not helping me looking for the answers. And I will share with you one tiny bit of my move. When I knew I am going to go on a flight, I didn't know what is waiting for me in Paris, because I didn't know how the airport is gonna react during COVID. Will I have, like, there was no COVID test in Israel back then, but there were rumors that maybe they are in France, so I didn't know if they were going to be there. I didn't know if the airport is going to be fully open or not, if things are, like, how the flight is going to be, like, you need to fly with a mask. It was, like, completely unknown for me. And as I said, I need to fulfill the need of knowing in order to feel less stress, okay? And I really remember that. I was like, okay, so what do I know? And that's where, like, when you know yourself good enough and you know your capabilities, you understand you can deal with a lot. Because what I remember telling myself, true story, is I got no clue what I'm up against, freaking me out, but I know one thing. I can do this. I've dealt with a lot in my past. I know I will bounce. I know I'm flexible enough. I know I'm okay with whatever is gonna come. I will find it out. It will be fine. I knew that. It's like, you can call it my hope, my optimism, my strength and capabilities. Generally speaking, I was like, I know I'm gonna be. So I knew. So this feeling of I needed this need to be fulfilled, knowing it was fulfilled. I knew. And to be honest, I arrived to Paris and it was a chaos. Like, there was no one there. They had COVID tests. And then I had to carry my 8 luggages, 25 kilos of luggages each. It's like, it's a lot. Sorry. It's autumn and I'm completely losing it. I had to carry all my suitcases by myself, and I remember looking at it and being like, but how? And I was like, well, you got to, and you know you can, so come on. So you need to find what fills this need of yours, whatever it is. There's always a solution, but you need to know what it is that freaks you out so you can actually address it, because otherwise, how would you know?
Yeah, absolutely. This is so important. And it brings us to the next topic that we want to cover today, and it's communicated. Okay, so once you know, and again, being honest with yourself, what is this need that you need to fulfill? Then when it's not fulfilled, it stresses you out. Then you need to communicate it first to yourself. Okay, have those conversations in your head, like, totally fine. Even have them out loud. We do. We talk to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
And if you do it too, so that's totally natural and that's okay. But communicate it to yourself, like, to say to yourself, okay, I understand this stresses me out. It's because this need is not fulfilled. Great, what can I do about it? So that's step 1. And then communicate it to others, because people will see you stressed, okay? And most of them won't understand what's going on with you. They'll say, oh, she's moving abroad, she's losing it. And that's not what it's about. You're not losing it. You're stressed because one of your needs is not fulfilled. And communicate it. Say it out loud. It will be much more simpler to handle to you and to others around you, Because when people will know what is it that needs to be fulfilled in you, they can help you, They can help you fulfill it. If you need to fulfill this need of love and support of others, you say it out loud. Listen, guys, I really need your support right now. I need to feel loved by you right now. Then guess what? People will love you, will show you more love. And maybe we're naive a little bit, and we do believe in people and kindness, but people are much nicer than you give them credit for.
People, again, when they understand basic actions, okay, what is it that you need from me? It's easier for them to do. They cannot guess. And the same way that you have your own needs, someone else has their needs. Okay, and this is advanced, okay, sorry, but the second part of knowing how to deal in a society is being able to spot on other people's needs so you know how to better interact with them. But as I said, advance. Right now, understand that if, for example, your basic need is to feel meaningful, okay, and someone else's basic need is actually to feel growth and learning, when you're coming super stressed about it to this person, they will give you the answer from their basic needs. They will tell you, okay, what's the problem? You need to read more books and then you know how you will move abroad, right? Because this is how they will tackle it. But it's not the right thing for you because they don't know that what you need is to feel more meaningful. So when we talk about being able to communicate, actually you're helping yourself get what you need and make sure you get the right advices, the right ingredients to make this move the right one for you. And if you're moving with someone else, chances are you two have different basic needs. So if you're not communicating it clear enough, you knowing what they need and they know what you need, then it's going to be, everyone's going to be super stressed, and you know, we'll probably share in a minute. It will spiral and become bigger and bigger just because you don't understand each other, because everyone is pulling in their direction, and then it makes it bigger than it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, imagine that your basic need is not knowing, but someone else's is knowing. And then you both come stressed to a situation. One will shoot information at you, the other one will like, shut up, I don't want to hear it because it stresses me out. And what you're doing to each other is actually making it really, really harder to deal with the situation you're dealing. But, and again, communication is key for a lot of things in life, you know, and for this as well. When you're communicating and you're saying it, instead of, you know, bursting out and saying shut up, you're just like, hey, listen, I don't need all this information. I know what I'm doing. I don't need this. And what you're doing right now really stresses me out. So can you please stop? And even more, if you're advanced, I get that you need this information, but I don't. So how can we help each other? You know, is there any information I can give you? This way you'll have all the information at your side and I will need to deal with it. And but I don't need you to give me more information. That's totally fine. I'm handling it like I do. Maybe there's something else you could do for me. Let's see. But again, communication is so important and will make your life, your move, and your surrounding as well much easier, simpler to handle. And you know, when we say that you should have a smooth and joyful move abroad, this is one big chunk, you know, because without this communicating to your surrounding, it won't happen.
Yeah, and you know, it is bigger than you, okay? Because those ripple effects of whatever you're going through, it will go really big, okay? If you're currently feeling stressed, how easy it is to make you second guess yourself. How easy it is for your friend, for your family, for your boss, for your partner to tell you, are you sure you want to do this? Maybe rethink it. Maybe you're not ready.
To make you feel guilty for it, ashamed.
How can you leave me? Because all those questions come because what they get from you, the vibe they get from you is that you're doing something that makes you feel not good. Because otherwise you wouldn't be stressed, right? But if you really manage to go deep inside the root of it and understand that it's not the move, it's not the life abroad that stresses you, it's particular needs that needs to be fulfilled, then you will be able to go back and be like, listen, It's not the move that stresses me out. It's I need to make sure I'm loved and supported and have really good connections. This is my need. So actually I need it before my move. I need the support of my family. I need the support of my partner. I need the support of my friends. I need to feel good about myself. And then once I move, I will also find my communities and once this is done, everything else will be okay. But when you're able to communicate it clearly to yourself and to others, then you don't weaponize other people being able to tell you that you're maybe doing a mistake. Okay? Don't give them this possibility. There is no reason for that. You need to be able to tell it with confidence. You're actually making a decision for yourself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, communicating is key in all of that. But for that, you need to know your real reason for your stress.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really sums up all this topic and how important it is for you to know what is it that really stresses you out and what's the need that maybe is hiding behind this stress that needs to be fulfilled. The next step would be to actually fulfill it, but that's another topic. And even like we said before, even just knowing what it is really helps minimize the stress, okay? And by that, you feel a little better already. And again, communicate it. It will minimize it even more.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I think we got it covered for today. If you have any trouble finding your own need and understanding, like drilling it down and going deep and finding your root, then please comment on this video, on this podcast. Let us know, and we would be more than happy to help you get down to what it is that is currently stressing you out, okay? Reach out. Instagram, on this podcast, find a way to contact us. We are here for you.
Absolutely. So we want to thank you again for being here with us, and we hope it was valuable to you and meaningful to you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.